I'm doing well. How about yourself? In all honesty, for this track, it's going to be the exit of turn two and the exit of turn four. It's a tricky track. It isn't very forgiving, so a small mistake can lead to quite a few interesting situations. And it's not easy to recover. It's not very wide, unlike we were just in Michigan there, and I believe it's like 75 feet wide. You're not getting that kind of space here. It is quite a narrow track. You've got very high banking all around it. Obviously, 25 degrees on the corners, 9 degrees, which is one of the higher ones on the straights. So any crash you have, there's a good chance that's going straight down and taking anyone out who's below them or even to behind them. So it can get a little dicey, and being able to avoid accidents is going to be really tricky with how narrow the track is to begin with. Exiting some of these corners, as you can see in the background there, can get a little interesting because they have such a hard corner into a straightaway. There's no kind of ease off sort of coming into a tri-oval or anything like that. You go from corner to just straight. So it takes a lot more, I guess, finesse coming out of the corners. You have to feather the throttle a lot more. It's not just, out of the corner, pin it down. You got to really come out at the right angles, have the right speed, and kind of hope that wall doesn't come at you too quick. It is a lot trickier. It's a narrower entrance. Obviously, with Daytona and Michigan, you have a lot more space to get into the entrance. There's a lot more space to the before it, so you're able to get off the track, get out of the way, start to slow down, and not worry too much about speeding in the pit lane, because you are given that extra time, and you can slow down off track. Unfortunately, with Dover, you don't get that option. When it comes to this track, you are slowing down on track. You have to communicate with those around you. You have to make it known. It's going to be a very interesting trying to get onto it. And the entrance itself, like the actual mouth of where you're getting into pit lane, is a whole other game of trying to thread a needle with a car moving at 200 kilometers an hour. So being able to slow it down, stay out of trouble, and feather it through there without meeting the barrels and then eventually that wall is going to be very key, if especially under any form of a green light or a green flag pit stop. So if under caution, it'll be a lot easier. But if you're trying to do any green flag stops, you're definitely going to be concerned. Yeah, it's definitely going to be harder to make it through. I mean, these guys obviously they can drive, they know what they're doing a little bit, and they're going to be able to kind of realize how to avoid it, or at least try to, using spotters, things like that. But it's going to be patience. There's no need to necessarily hop in and be first out of the gate, right off the line, and trying to force your way up right away. Like, take your time. We have, I think it's 120 laps we have today. Like, practice patience, because this track is going to need it. It's not as draft heavy as the last two. You don't necessarily have to be running in a pack to get completely together. Like, you're not going to lose out on a bunch of spots just because you're not in that pack. Obviously, you still want to be close to them, but it's not as much of a concern. But it's taking what comes at you and being able to react to it's going to be the only thing that really helps here. Finding that groove, getting into that space, and just trying to not overextend yourself to make that one last pass, because in this case, if you get on that throttle a little too early, you can meet that wall very quickly. It comes up at you a lot faster than you think, but at the same time, it's you don't want to get left behind. So it's kind of a fine line you have to be able to walk to be able to get through everything.
Right, well, there goes, guys. Welcome in, Nick. Hope you are well. And Jamie McLennan as well was in earlier on in YouTube chat. Don't forget, guys, you can say hello. We will respond and say hello back as well. But be prepared. This is going to be one incredible race. So we've got Alex Wick currently topping the timing tower, who's just been overtaken by Kev Coleman. So this is going to be an interesting one. Oh, and that's one of the problems we were talking about, getting on the power a little bit too early, and then unfortunately going round there as well. That, you know, I just see completely different circuit, you know, to what we're used to, and I think this is going to play a major part here, isn't it? This circuit is not for the faint-hearted. They have got to be really trying to get it on point every single time, because otherwise it's just going to go wrong, isn't it? They've got to look every single point and hit every single point, otherwise disaster's going to strike and they're going to be in the wall.
Exactly. It's kind of weird to be able to connect it in a similar way to, you know, things like F1 and stuff like that, but it kind of is. Like, you have to hit those points exactly. If you miss, in this case, you know, a corner apex, or you get on the throttle too early and you're spotting, you're finding a wall, you're hitting your running mate, you're hitting the guy above you. There's so many things that can go wrong very quickly. Kind of like how in F1, again, you come out of an apex and get on the throttle too early, you're spinning around and in a lot of trouble. Whereas on things like Daytona, you get on the throttle a little too early, you can back off and kind of catch yourself. And here, a little bit less chance of that. You've got kind of a little bit less leeway, I guess would be the right word, to kind of get out of some sketchy situations. And if you just the banking all the way around the track, because of how aggressive it is, can lead to a whole other selection of weird situations. So you definitely have to be on your game. You definitely have to be 100% paying attention to what's going on. Exactly. And that's what I mean. It can happen so quick. So you just definitely have to be prepared for it and try and just kind of piece together everything smoothly.
Well, that was Brandon McLaughlin there as well, showing us how not to go round this circuit, as it's going to be quite an interesting one, I think, from us this evening. And I got to be honest, I would say I'm normally looking forward to a good old NASCAR sting-dong, but I got a funny feeling this could be slightly a little bit more of an issue here this evening as well. Now, bear with me, the timing software has been not up to its best this evening, caused me a load of problems during the last race, and I've got a funny feeling it's causing me a load of problems again here this evening as well. So we will be able to hopefully bring you up the grid, but just bear with us, and I'm hoping it will reset itself. Excuse me for the UI there, but it is not playing ball. So unfortunately, we may struggle a little bit, but we will, hopefully it will reset itself when we get ready for the grid. There we go, it is up and running, and it shows the wonderful thing that goes off and does its own miraculous self there as well. So just bear with, because as I say, it's been a little bit of an issue. Current championship standings on your screen. Daniel Michael is in first on 99 points, Josh McGuigan on 90, Alex Witt on 82, Sean Britt on 71, Cody Kern on 68, Michael McElroy 63, Armand Brusso 62, with Christian Strider also in 62, Zachary Lewis in 9th on 60, Noel Hanna there as well is currently on 55. So that is your current top 10 here this evening as well. And as you can see, once again, it decides it doesn't want to like what it's doing. So hopefully we will be able to get this under control here this evening as well. And as I say, stage 1 is at lap 50. So be prepared for stage 1 at lap 50. And then stage 2 will be at lap 75. Okay, so there we go. Anyone but Zach Lewis. Anyone but sorry, man. Well, there's a lot of love already going on in YouTube chat. Thank you so much for joining us. If you are here, don't forget to subscribe, turn on the bells, and give the video a big old thumbs up, because that would be absolutely amazing for us. But hopefully we will be able to guide you through the grid very, very quickly while these guys go off on the parade lap there as well. Josh McGuigan is in first, Trevor Haley second, Christian Strider third, Alex Witt fourth, Noel Hanna fifth, Daniel Michael sixth, Kevin Coleman seventh, Michael McElroy eighth, Jordan Malcolm ninth, Craig Rowe in 10th, Chi Kuba in 11th, Anthony Radel is down in 12th place. Then beyond that, Zachary Lewis 13th, Rob Sizemore 14th, Brendan McLaughlin 15th, Zach Scari 16th, Alexander Martin 17th, Ryan McLennan 18th, Andrew Oldquist 19th, Terry Spainhour 20th, Calvary Ross 21st, Sean Britt 22nd, Dustin Hicks 23rd, Sawyer Gara in 24th, Cody Kern in 25th place, and then Armand Brusso 26th, and Gregory Sherman in 27th. I'm just going to make some wonderful adjustments why I am here at the same time, because it is obviously completely just not done what I wanted it to do, which is a little bit frustrating, but just bear with me 2 seconds and I will correct any issues I have. It's a wonderful world of live TV, unfortunately, but we do have these issues that we will resolve as we go along. But unfortunately, for a minute, it's just not playing ball and doesn't like what we're doing. But hopefully, it will like what I'm doing after this, so we can get this resolved for you here this evening as well. So that is the grid currently on your screen, and we look forward to what is planning to be an absolute incredible race here this evening, and one that I think, Kenton, we can desperately look forward to. Are we expecting a complete caution-free race?
No.
Okay.
Right away, no. No, I almost am willing to bet we will have a caution in, I would say, the first 15, but I'll be cautiously optimistic and say first 20. It will be very, very interesting, but I have a feeling we'll have a caution a lot, or a couple of times before stage 1 ends, but for sure we'll definitely have at least one before stage ends. And I just wanted to touch on, because I forgot to mention it earlier, there was a penalty for Sean Britt from last race. He will be getting a black flag right away and have a 2-lap hold.
Right, here we go.
Race.
Here we go, we are underway. The starter's orders is off, and it is Josh McGuigan who's got an absolute barnstorming start here right at the beginning of this 125 lap 1 mile circuit here from Dover. And well, everybody settles down now. We're not expecting a double line, are we? I think we're going to be more expecting a single line race completely here this evening, as these guys settle in all the way around, currently completing lap 1.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of single file driving here. Whether or not it stays like that all the way back as guys try and make moves and things like that, you will get your two lanes going a little bit every once in a while, but it will, for the most part, kind of be in that single file.
Oh, dearie me. Christian Strider and Daniel Michael were literally rubbing early on, and I was expecting it to go wrong. Now, one of my fears is we've seen a very aggressive Noel Hanna this season, haven't we? He's putting the boots in at Daytona, didn't calm down in Michigan. What are we expecting from this 7 car? Because if he's as aggressive as he is for the first 2 races, he can put himself in a position that he don't really want to be in.
It could. It definitely could. But at the same time, I mean, with this kind of track, he might make it work out, because a lot of guys are going to drive a little more cautious because of how quick and easy it is to lose it. So if you feel confident, there we go. There's our first car
no,
as he meets the wall, but it doesn't bring out a caution. Nicely recovered then on that. At least he was able to kind of keep it together. Looks like he might have a little bit of side damage, definitely. And he's keeping it rolling. So Craig Rowe managed to do okay. But yeah, it did meet the wall right away. He's still going. That's always good. But yeah, I mean, being aggressive isn't necessarily a bad thing, mainly with however cautious people are going to be. But it's about being cautiously aggressive, or not necessarily passive aggressive, but that little bit like taking your opportunities when you get them, but don't try and force them. So I don't necessarily say it's going to be a bad thing, but it looks like he dropped. He was in 4th there. It looks like now he's down to 7th. So it's going to be a very changing field throughout, just because one small slip up can change how everything feels very quickly. So,
all right, well, buckle in, guys, because it's going to get interesting here at Dover as we're on lap 7 of 125. Rowe is in the pits. That's going to damage him completely. It looks like the double O car there as well of Kevin Coleman may have had a brush with the wall. I'm trying to see if we got damage on his rear left quarter. We'll jump on board with the 81, which is Brendan McLaughlin, and we'll see if we can see it from there, because I've got a funny feeling he's had a brush with the wall, but looks like he may have been another one that got away with it here, Kevin, this evening.
Yeah, these new next-gen cars, they're tougher than they look. They've got some pretty solid bodywork on them. They can take a little bit of a beating and keep on ticking. So a little scrape with the wall, you should be okay. It's more so if you lose it and go, nose first, you're not coming out of that one clean. Oh man, there we go. So around, but there's our first caution. Lap 10, so I was correct on the inside of that 15 or less than 20 laps, but yeah, thankfully that one didn't look too bad. He got a little spun, but managed to get himself back straight. He will probably come in, or guys will probably come in and grab a set of tires, because I believe we have a 4 for this race.
The problem is obviously the stage is at 50, the stage is at 75, and then they got to sprint straight to the end. So you know they're going to use 3 already. Are they really going to come in on lap 11? And we can have a look back at that yellow flag and see what caused the first caution.
Yeah, actually, Noah Hanna was connected in that, but not on him. He was. It was definitely. It looks like the 00 just kind of got a little tight and ended up going up higher than he expected to, and just the 7 had nowhere to go, and Hanna had no choice there but to kind of absorb as best he could, and that kind of caused a little bit of a bump. But for the most part, it looks like they're staying pretty clean. I don't think. Looks like the 00 went into the pits, but outside of that, it looks like they're all going to stay out. I wouldn't be too surprised if, or maybe he's not going in. He's just slowing down.
There he is. He's in.
He is going. Oh, okay, yeah. I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if they came in, but I wouldn't be surprised if they stayed out either. It's had this been lap 20, for sure, I would have come in. As as Joshua tries to clip the into the pace car here. But I would be not surprised if someone stayed out at this point. It's in that kind of gray area where you can sort of pick and choose, I guess, at this point. Had it been lap 20 or later, then I think they would have come in. But
it does seem a little bit early, I've got to be honest, here on lap, well, it was lap 10 when the caution was thrown. But it may be a little bit early. So let's go Sizemore and let's go Spainhour. Now, obviously, Spainhour being our very own Terry Spainhour, who well, we kind of gave a little bit of love to last week, didn't we? Is pit stops were, how can I put it? I suppose somewhat out of context of everybody else's. But he managed to make it work, didn't he, in the end, Terry Spainhour? So a stellar job from him. And at the end of the day, who was I to call that Spainhour was going to get it wrong? Because he literally proved me wrong pretty much every time. So well done to Terry Spainhour for last week. Did an absolutely stellar job. And yeah, got his pit stop sorted out there. So hopefully Terry, who is currently in the 86 car, currently sitting in 21st place, he may be able to hopefully prove us wrong again, Kenton, and you know, see how he gets on. I think it's going to be an interesting one for Terry Spainhour being that far back. He's going to be looking at cautions and picking up places where he possibly can, I would have thought. So let's see how Terry gets on. Car number 86 there as well. Drop shot prodigy. Come on, T86. Oh, there we go. Sums it all up, really.
Yeah, I mean, anyone near the back kind of thing, there are going to be cautions, and at that point it's just going to be avoiding as much as you can and picking up what places you can get, and if you can get through during some racing, then all the more to you. But yeah, definitely just avoid whatever you can and try and keep the car moving in the forward direction will be the most important aspect of it. So, well,
that's going to be the hardest part. There is going to be one more lap, I would have thought. Yeah, as we wait for the pace car lights to come off. Gregory Sherman has gone into the pits. He was a bit late in the caution to do that, but, you know, I'm sure there was reason. Because we saw that a few times last week, didn't we, in Michigan, where a few people were coming in sort of midway through towards the end of the caution, when, you know, obviously the pit lane doesn't open straight away. Don't get me wrong. I'm not, you know, completely unrealistic that the pit lane is open as soon as the caution is thrown, but it does seem a little bit later on for them to get into the pits.
It definitely can be. I mean, it's sometimes you don't have a clear line to get down. It all kind of depends where you were at the single file at the time when you guys were coming in, especially with this pit entrance. It's very, very tight. So if you've got a guy slightly to your inside, you're not making that corner. So just kind of let it go and either come in later or wait and hope. But it could also be as simple as, you know, he was driving and one of the tires just felt off, or it was shaking, or whatever it is. So he just decided, hey, let's hop in now. Because a lot of these guys with that change there, I mean, you're looking at 35 laps, definitely is doable in terms of getting to the first the end of the stage one. So they might just be hoping that it goes green the rest of the way, and some people have to pit under green. So it's all a strategy end of things, but I'm sure they're hoping it goes their way.
Are we realistically going to see every pit stop done under a caution, or do you think we will see a green flag pit stop?
For our sake, I hope it's a green flag pits, but I don't think it's going to happen. I'm fairly confident that if you're pitting, it's mostly going to be under caution. Some guys might have to try and stretch it. Fuel conservation might play a little bit of a factor. I know they are on 100% fuel, so they can go a little longer than they could at Daytona and Michigan, as the lights do go out on the pace car here. But it could happen. Who knows?
Okay, well, let's see what happens as we come around turn 3 and 4. Pace car is off. We will jump over to our wonderful Barney, the flag bearer in iRacing, the strongest right iron. They enter into the Geico Rico's restart zone, and we are green. And it's Josh leading the way once again here in Dover. Absolutely. He's nailing them starts every single time. He got the start at the beginning. He's just got it on the yellow flag. He's absolutely nailing that early start, isn't he, on that restart?
Yeah, he is hitting it really well, and I mean, he's not being predictable, and that's obviously your biggest thing as the leader coming into a restart. You don't want to go right as you hit that spot for the restart. You don't want to go right as soon as you hit that Geico restart zone, or every time. You don't always want to go at the very end of it. You got to kind of slip some curveballs in for the guys behind you, so you can catch them napping or hope to, and or get them a little early so they back off and then you go. Like there's definitely an art to restarting oval racing.
Yeah. Oh, that's the 21 car on the inside there. That is Anthony Radel. Looks like he may have got himself into a little bit of a problem, but seems to be managing so far, and he's up and running. I'll keep a close eye whether or not Radel goes into the pits or if he has survived whatever the incident was. But it is Josh McGuigan out in front with Trevor Haley, Daniel Michael, Alex Witt, Christian Strada, Michael McElroy, Noel Hanna, Zachary Lewis, Jordan Malcolm and Brendan McLaughlin, your top 10 here this evening as well. So there we go. Josh McGuigan looks like Trevor Haley's just about to come down on the inside. Hopefully they make this clean, Kenton. Otherwise it's, well, it's going to be dramatic, shall we say.
Yeah, it definitely can be. And like I said, like we were talking about off stream here, is it's an outside turns. If you are on there, that inside line coming through for a couple of them, you're going to have a little bit of a stronger corner typically. Now, if you have the push from guys behind you and that little bubble that gets created behind the car there, you can get a little more out. But you definitely want to be able to go outside. It's just going to make the corner a lot smoother and a lot quicker for you. If you kind of get trapped on that high outside line and have trouble getting down low, or have trouble getting back up high, it'll slow you down a little bit.
Now, previously we've seen two lines. Previously we've seen them get hung out in no man's land and they've dropped down the order. But it doesn't look like Dover's going to lend itself too much to two-line racing. You know, we can see them breaking off here, Alex Witt and Trevor Haley. But generally, we think they're going to be single file. Do we think that's going to be the plan for most of them? Because the last thing they want to do is what's happening here to Andrew Almquist, is that he's losing a bit of time to Jordan Malcolm. He's about 1.5 seconds back. That is your biggest gap currently on your screen at the moment. You know, they kind of need to stay as close as possible, I suppose, would be a good way of putting it.
As the 17 goes around, there's our second caution there. I would be shocked if people don't pit on this one, but I could be wrong. But yeah, it's, for the most part, in all honesty, I would be shocked if you see a lot of two-lane driving around here. It's not the easiest to do. It's not impossible. You definitely can, but I don't think it's going to be the common thing to see.
Oh, he just gets just all out of shape, didn't he?
Yeah, it looked a little bit, and it's hard to see from that angle if the 20 tried to bump draft and just didn't line it up properly and kind of got into his outside there and just kind of twisted him and hooked him a little bit, but a little unfortunate for him, as there was really nowhere for him to go there.
Yeah, well, we'll see if we can see.
Oh yeah, no, he gets just bumped, and unfortunately, if you're going to bump draft, you want to do that on a straight, not so much on the corner, because especially here, you will send him very quickly.
Well, he definitely did.
But yeah, as a bunch of guys are diving into the pits now, getting those fresh tires. It's not the friendliest track for tires. You will some of these will take a pretty good beating if you're not careful. It'll definitely eat that right front, and in this track, you definitely want to have your right front working for you. Otherwise, you're gonna get loose very easily, or stay tight and end up in a wall, and you don't really want either of those.
Now, we'll see the race on the pit lane. Alex Witt, Trevor Haley is in, Noel Hanna, Michael McElroy, Chico Hubert, Anthony Radel, Zachary Lewis, Zach Scar, Alexander Martin, Terry Spainow, Calvin Ross, Dustin Hicks and Harman Brusso here tonight as well. So it looks like Alex Witt is going to get out before Trevor Haley. As we can see, them guys exiting there as well. So there is Alex Witt. So it was Alex Witt who got out first. James Kenton, Fallout or the Elder Scrolls?
Ooh. I haven't played a lot of Elder Scrolls. I did do a lot of Fallout back in the day, though.
Back in the day? Well, unfortunately, yeah. I'm going to have to say Elder Scrolls. I didn't play... I can't say I honestly committed to it, But I think Elder Scrolls, I didn't really play much Fallout. I've got to be honest, it was more Elder Scrolls for me. So there we go. But hey, that was as they say, back in the day, which makes me sound back in the day, which makes me sound ridiculously old. And I'm not really. Well, unless you speak to my kids who do turn around and say, "Dad, you are old." So cheers, kids. I love you too. You know what I mean?
Oh, I get, yeah, I always get told I'm older than I am. Just my vocabulary and vernacular sometimes. My favorite was, yeah, in an interview I said our team was over the moon about something, and oh, did I hear that for a while.
Oh, I can imagine.
Even my dad made fun of me for that one. It's like, well...
Oh, no, dude. There's been some interesting things that I've said in, you know, in interviews within it. And we've got some YouTube shorts on there. If you have a look at the interview with Chris Daines in a GT3 race that I was doing, you will hear a wonderful sentence come out of my mouth. And it was only after I said it that I realised what I actually said. To be honest, but go and have a look at the short. It's on there as well, and there is another short of me ridiculously taking the mickey out of myself due to the fact for the first time in a very long time I drove a TCR yesterday round Virginia. BIR was not my most proudest moment, especially when my teammates have a combined IR of about 10k, and there's me on my lonely. Well, I won't go into details, but let's just put it this way. It's not up at the 1.5. So, yeah. But we're going to go back next week at Phillip Island and give it another go. So, don't forget, guys, as well, head over to the JPB Instagram. There is currently a giveaway on there. You have to like, follow JPB, and share the post. And when we hit 300 followers, we are giving away £50 worth of iRacing dollars as well, which we will do live on a broadcast. We'll put all your names into a little spinny wheel, and we will press spin, and whoever wins the £50 worth of iRacing dollars. So head over to the JPB Instagram and get yourselves involved in that one. You must follow, you must share, and you must like. Okay, so there's your 3 requirements of that post. Okay, so there we go. I've made that perfectly clear. But it's Daniel Michael up front, Christian Strider. The lights are going to be off. They are off on the pace car. He will be going in this lap. We jump back onto Barney, and we're going to get ready for another round of racing here, as we've still got currently 22 laps until we get to stage 1, and it is Daniel Michaels taking the race start with Josh McGuigan in second, Christian Strada in third, Brandon McClung in fourth, Trevor Haley, Noel Hanna is further back, got himself in the mix of 14th currently at the moment. I'm probably guessing though, Kenton from Noel's point of view is not, oh, that was a straight torpedo. Calvin Ross, that wasn't Armand Brousseau, that was Michael McElroy. And the caution is out again, and I think he just took a straight torpedo into the barrier. And unfortunately for McElroy, it's a job done and dusted for him, because it was fairly obvious he was the main one of that. But let's have a look back as we go in. Oh, not the greatest of pictures, I've got to be honest. But there you go. I think Michael McElroy just literally torpedoed the barrier.
Yeah, he definitely's got some front end damage there. You can see that nice little buckle above the front left there.
Now,
I'm not sure what caused it, if he just got loose and went straight down, but
it
looks like there was a second car involved there behind him.
I'm trying to...
the 20 came up on him again.
Calvin Ross again.
Yeah,
well, poor old Calvin Ross is not getting himself well at the moment, is he? That's 2 incidents.
Yeah, he's not making friends on this track
today.
No,
he definitely is not loving Dover currently at the moment. But poor Calvin Ross there. Michael McElroy into the pits, Anthony Radel. Terry Spainhour pulling out a pit stop strategy that we've not seen here as well. But there are back out front with Daniel and Michael. So did Rowe abandon the race? I don't see his car, James, underneath. But Craig Rowe, yes, I'm going to presume is out. He's looked like, I don't believe There he is, actually. Craig Rowe is still out on pit, on the racetrack. Down in 25th.
Yeah, I think he's 3 laps down.
3 laps down, yeah.
Unfortunately. Yeah, he had a crash very early and just wasn't able to kind of make it through, unfortunately. But
there's everybody's favourite driver, Zachary Lewis, as everybody jumps into chat at least once tonight and says anyone but Lewis. Well, here he is on screen in the McDonald's liveried car. Gotta
anyone
be
but Lewis. This must be F1.
Yeah, anyone but Lewis. You know what I mean? I don't get it. You can't dislike somebody already. That's a little bit harsh, I feel. You know what I mean? Considering Zachary Lewis hasn't won this season yet, but we are only on race 3, so you know there's plenty of time left remaining on that one. What we can do is just give you a quick look at the schedule of what is going to happen here this evening. And get back onto the live screen. There is the schedule. So we've got Dover this week, then we've got Kota on the 31st. February 7th, we're off to Nashville Speedway. Then the 21st, we go to Charlotte Oval. Sonoma on the 28th, and then North Wilkesboro on March the 7th. So there we go. Look forward to that. And then we've got the 4 playoff heats on the 25th, the 2nd, the 9th, and 16th of May. Talladega, Watkins Glen, Las Vegas, and Homestead. So that should be a very interesting season here of the BSC Broadcast Live on the JPB YouTube channel. So, you know, get yourself involved, turn on the bells, subscribe, give the video a big old thumbs up, show some love. Don't forget, guys, as well, you can drop any comments after as well. We will read them after this. So if there's anything you felt, any feedback or anything like that, then let us know down in the comment section either now or after the broadcast, and we will pick them up and have a read. But the pace car lights are on. Lap 32, we're 3 caution deep already. Well, I don't really know. Do you know what? I don't really know what to say because we're only on 33. We've still got 92 laps remaining, and we're on the 3rd caution. You know. I'm not boding well. I've got to be honest.
No, it's definitely going to be quite a few laps under caution, I think, today. And it's Dover. That's Dover. It's not the friendliest of tracks for you. You get a little tight, you're going to meet that wall very quickly. You get a little loose, and you're spinning around and going to the other side in the wall, and there's just the lack of space on track from wall to wall doesn't make it easy. Thankfully, we haven't, and knock on wood for this before I get in trouble, haven't had any big collisions with too many, but it's definitely an interesting track to be on.
All right, here we go again. Daniel Michael coming around, Barney with his flag out, ready to go once again, and we are going to be back racing here on lap 33. Daniel Michael's got the jump on the start, and he has taken the lead over Josh McGuigan with Christian Strada, Jordan Malcolm. It seems to be a battle of the restarts, Kenton, doesn't it? Because Michael Daniels just done one, and now we've got, Josh McGuigan was doing them before, and he was nailing them every single time. And Daniel Michael seems to have done the same thing here and nailed that restart, and has just blown everybody away and left them there as we go down into turn 1.
Yeah, I mean, if you're able to get that restart in your hands, like being the first driver, it makes life so much easier because you control the way everybody goes, and no one's allowed to pass you until you hit the checkered line there. So once you kind of get a rhythm, once you can kind of feel how everyone else is going, you're able to sort of kind of create space that might not have been there had it been a little, if you're second or if you're third, because everyone has to react to you. So you're the only one who knows when you're going. Obviously, the green flag gives it away a little bit, but you don't have to go right away. You're allowed to kind of hold everybody up even with the green flag going on, and kind of force them away because no one can pass you until you hit the start-finish line. So if you know what you're doing, you can definitely take advantage of those and definitely put it in your favor there.
Well, let's see how they get on. We've got a long run now. We've got another 13 laps to stage 1, and it's currently Alex Wick, Daniel Michael. Michael got a little bit out of control, a little bit squirrely. coming out of turn 4, and now is Alex Witt takes up the baton here at Dover. What is he going to do? Is he going to be able to control this race? Are we expecting a breakaway from the cars up front? Can Alex Witt and Daniel Michael work together to pull away from McGuigan and Malcolm? Because I suppose in hindsight, it doesn't matter how far away you are, but it looks like Andrew Almquist may have had another brush with the wall there as he's dropped all the way down the order to 24th place. I tell you, one man that's benefited from it is Sawyer Gara, who is up 14 places and benefited from these free cautions, Kenton. I suppose that pays dividends of just being able to keep it on the black stuff, I suppose. Well, great here because we're obviously on asphalt, but you know, just keeping it safe, keeping it on track, and keeping it going, because Sawyer is up 14.
Yeah, exactly. If you're able to kind of stay out of trouble, like, and keep the car moving forward, you're going to gain some spots, and things will get adjusted for you as you're going. Obviously, the biggest thing is patience. Like, you don't, again, we have 125 laps total today, so we still have time. You don't need to be first, you know, coming out of stage 1, and you don't need to be, you know, second, because you're going to have things like that happen where a car gets a little loose and you know, might cause a caution, and you know, someone's going to pit, has a bad pit, gets a little squirrely going into their pit, doesn't quite, you know, it goes too far or doesn't go far enough into their pit box. Like, so many factors can come in to affect how the race goes for you that you don't necessarily have to force your way through the whole time. You can sort of enjoy sitting back a little bit and then start pushing later.
Terry Spainhour up 7, currently in 13th place. Now, I've got to be honest, right? I don't know Terry. I've never spoken to Terry before in my life. But somehow I've got a little bit of a soft spot for Terry Spainhour. Now, I don't know why. Maybe it's because he's the lowest licensed in the field or something. But something's drawing me to Terry this season, and I'm going to be, you know, I'm excited to see how he gets on. Flying along up 8 at the moment, currently sitting in 12th place. So, fair play to Terry, well done for you. Picks away from the stage here, and it's going to be, I think Alex Witt has opened up a 2.72 gap. He's flying, isn't he, Witt at the moment?
Yeah, he definitely kind of found that rhythm. He's gotten himself into a good spot, and as unfortunate as it can be for a lot of the other guys, you don't need to have that draft to push you through. You're able to more or less kind of race on your own. The downside for him is he's going to start running into some back markers right away here, as they're unfortunately going to possibly slow him up, or at least make it a little more interesting for him to try and work his way through. But yeah, it's because you don't have that immediate need for a draft partner the whole way, it does make it a little easier to kind of have these huge gaps between cars now, compared to Michigan and Daytona, where if you don't have anyone, you're gone. Like, you have no chance of catching up. So you couldn't do that as a leader in those two tracks. Like, you had to have someone there to help you. It's a lot easier on this track to kind of break away and set up a very dominant pace and kind of run your own race at that point.
Yeah, and I think that's what Witt is doing. Daniel Michael is battling it away here. Behind him is Jordan Malcolm. Now, we did see Malcolm have somewhat of a huge incident in practice, but looks like so far so good. Touch the wood board, James, on your desk, and hopefully, you know, Jordan Malcolm doesn't now go and put it into the wall. There is a caution. Calvin Ross.
I was going to say, yeah, it looks like Calvin Ross is dropping down. He's having a rough day. Very unfortunate, but he's gonna. Yeah, it's not a day for him.
No, at stage 1, Witt's going to take stage 1. They won't restart and worry about the stage, guys. They are now at the point they're 1 away from the stage, so we'll go to Alex Witt. We'll take the stage victory here as well, and let's have a look back and see what happened to Calvin Ross, because it did look somewhat dramatic. Oh, it looks like he got a little bit out of control there. The trouble is, There is Calvin now. He's coming off turn 4. He got a slide. Oh, no.
It looks like
he's trying, isn't he? Oh.
He tried to keep it away from him, but yeah, it looks like he just got a little tight coming out of turn. I believe that's turn 4 there as he was heading towards us. Yeah, and just the next gen cars are great in a lot of aspects. On tracks like this, if you lose the car, you're lost. They're very difficult to get back under control if you've started to swerve like that. Impossible? No. But it's very hard. Yeah. And that 22 car looks a little worse for wear too here as we swap onto that guy. Ooh, that's
Dustin Hicks.
He's had a couple of dings on that inside part of his door there.
We can try and have a look round. Ooh. That right rear is not looking too clever, is it really? Let's have a look at the right-sided front. Well, seems okay.
Yeah, right side looks good, but yeah, that left rear and left door are a little banged up for him.
Yeah, there's a nice little scratch going along the bottom under the timing tower there, if you're wondering what that is. It does look like somebody's come along and deliberately keyed his car door, but I promise you that is not what happened. There was some form of incident involved there with Dustin, and he, not good. But there we go. He's currently leading this race at this moment in time. Okay, we've reached stage 1. We're not quite halfway through, but we are getting there. I'm trying to, 4 cautions out. Unfortunately, Calvin Ross he's not going to love me for saying this, and I'm sure I'll hear from him in the morning. Unfortunately, Calvin Ross has been involved in 3 out of the 4 cautions. So he may want to tidy his race up a little bit. What do you reckon?
Yeah, he's definitely going to want to try and stay a little bit out of trouble, at least for the next stage. If he's able to do that and keep it clear through the next stage, it should be okay. But it's not his day. It's what I used to refer to when I played hockey and stuff was he's having a quicksand day. The harder he tries, the worse it gets. It's just one of those where nothing seems to want to go right for him, unfortunately. But it could change. He's as far as I can tell, I think he's even still on the lead lap. Like he hasn't lost anything there. So who knows? Another caution that he's not involved in, and he could end up near the front real quick. So
I think that's one of the things with oval racing, isn't it? We've come to determine that if you're at the back, it isn't going to make no difference because it can change in one caution. If this mid-pack here with Noel Hanna kicked off, it's just going to go mental. But we're back up front with Trevor Haley. Pace car lights do look like they're going off, so they will be under green very, very shortly. Lydia, he's the best. Talking about Terry Spainhour, of course. There we go. I don't know. Maybe I need to get an interview with Terry and just have a welcoming chat, because clearly I haven't talked to him before, and I already feel like I've known him for ages. But there we go. Good old Terry Spainhour doing the business down in 9th, up 11 places. I'll tell you what though, Dustin Hicks is up 21 currently at the moment. But as we know, that can all change, and he can end up at the back of the field on the next caution. But let's hope, for Dustin's point of view, he takes no further damage on that left rear as we are looking at the car now. Obviously right rear if we're standing in front of it, guys. But we are going to be getting ready to go again. The pace car peels in. Let's see, it's going to be Dustin Hicks going to lead us the way. I don't like this 2-car start, Kenton, I've got to be honest, but here we go. Dustin Hicks is going to wave us off.
Ooh.
And
he waited that little bit.
He waited, didn't he? And now everybody's there. I'm wondering if he should have jumped straight away as soon as he got into the Geico restart zone, because now he's got the very fast Trevor Haley, Alex Witt and Daniel Michael. And I fear for Dustin Hicks here. I've got a funny feeling he could be sliding down the order faster than me, pushing my daughter down the slide at the park. I've got to be honest with the likes of the guys he's got around him at the moment. Very quick Josh McGuigan, very quick. There he goes.
He managed to keep it out of the wall. That's always good. He didn't take any more damage there. drops down to the apron and kind of gets out of the way so it doesn't cause any problems.
Oh, the 24
Smart
car.
move.
Yeah, it's doing the same thing.
Yeah, it looks like a couple there. So yeah, the 24, and I think up ahead is trying to see who that is. That's the
62, is it?
The 62, I think. Yeah, maybe 82. It's hard to see, hard to have seen that.
There was a kind of an upside down roof sticker, and I couldn't quite read it from there.
Yeah, it was hard to get my eyes on it. But it looks like a couple of guys have come into the pits here.
Zach Scarf, 82.
Yeah.
Zachary Lewis is in, and Gregory Sharman. Not ideal, I would have thought, on this one. Lap 55 of 125 with Daniel Michael, Alex Witt, Josh McGuigan, Noel Hanna. Noel Hanna up into 4th, up 1 from his grid start, doing an absolute stellar job here this evening as we are now looking towards on lap 56 out of 125. Stage 1 is done. We have now got a straight 25 lap sprint off to stage 2, and we're hoping after the first 4 cautions in stage 1 we don't see 4 again in stage 2, because otherwise me and you are going to be here for a very long time, Kenton.
Yeah, it does look like the 22 car. There it is. Yep. The 22 car had a little bit of a problem there. Just on the back straight, I just looked up, and unfortunately, it looked like he was almost stationary. Not sure what happened, but it looked like he got a little wobbly, and unfortunately ended up next to the wall there. I'm assuming he's going to end up going down into the pits again here, but just a few of these cars not having a good day.
Yeah, definitely not there. I'm hoping that wasn't Calvin Ross in front. I was literally praying there as he's come off turn 2. Oh, there was contact with the 6 car though. That's Craig Rowe. Hicks and Rowe involved in that one. And then that was... It seems a bit weird, didn't it, to be honest? But let's have a look and see if we can get an onboard on the nose here. Did we just carry too much speed? Oh, no. Rowe gets a little bit out of shape, checks up. And here comes Dustin Hickston. He just looked like he checked up coming out of 2. And
yeah, that's be a few minutes of repairs there. He's got some smoke coming out for sure, and I'm sure that front end is not feeling super happy.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's still out, so maybe he didn't get the meatball flag, but that looked like he took a pretty solid bump. Yeah, an unfortunate time. I would definitely chalk that down to a racing incident. I mean, yeah, Rowe got a little squirrely coming out of the turn there, out of turn, I think that's turn 2.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately Hicks had nowhere to go except into his into the rear.
Yeah, I think that's the thing when somebody checks up. You literally, if you're carrying a massive overspeed, you haven't got anywhere to go. You know, it happened to me the other day. It was on Monza Oval, and I carried so much speed coming out of 2, and next thing you know, there was just a guy in front of me, and I went to go left and to try and avoid him. And you know, Monza's not exactly the most forgiving track to go left of, because there's no room at the best of times. So it was even less when I went left, and I just couldn't go anywhere. And literally, as I've gone left, he's come left to avoid the guy in front of him. And, well, you can imagine the result was one of us was spinning down the back straight ceremoniously on our roof sideways. Gotta be honest, the 35-minute repairs in a 30-lap race that wasn't taking very long, didn't really see the point in hanging around and waiting. Now, that may be not everybody's cup of tea, but, yeah, the repairs didn't do me any good with a 30-lap race at Monza.
No, they definitely can cause some problems having to sit there through those.
Yeah, it was just pointless. I think I just pressed the exit button, to be honest, due to the fact that obviously, you know, 30 laps on a track that wasn't taking very long anyway. You know, there's no point in sitting there for 30 minutes of repairs and probably still being in the pits by the time they finish the race. But there we go. Well, at least this time for this caution, it was not Ross involved in that. So caution number 5 now, Dustin Hicks and Rowe. So there we are on lap 60, 125. We've got literally 65 laps to go here this evening of Dover with myself, James Parfitt, and Kenton Sportak in the booth, bringing you all the action as I sit in -5. Kenton sits in -5, and I'm in the UK and he's in Canada. So there we go. I think if anybody's got the right to be a -5 is Kenton, definitely not me, but I am in the UK, and as we know, our summer lasts for about a day and a half over here, if that. So, you know, we get prepared for the summer and then it's gone. We don't get much sunlight. You know what I mean? It's not exactly the warmest country to be living in for summer. But anyway, now we've discussed
sunlight doesn't always mean warm, because where I am, we actually get the most amount of actual sunlight in at least in Canada and for most of North America. So we actually get a ton of sun, but it's not always warm.
No, we didn't this morning, right? I went out and I thought I better go and start the car up because, you know, it's frozen and I've got to get obviously the kids to school, me to work, kids to school and everything else. And literally it was still -3 in the morning and the sun was out blaring away, and boy oh boy, that's all I'm going to say about that one. It was just going out and starting the car up because I was literally come back in like a frozen ice block. But the lights are out on the pace car. We will be back under racing very, very shortly here as we take our 5th caution coming to the end, and we jump in with Daniel Michael this time as he goes into the Geico restart zone. You can see it's not very big. It's not that double up of Daytona or the double up of Michigan, but it is the single of Dover, and we are green. Chasing down Daniel Michael at the start, and again Michael buried that start, Kenton, and away he's gone.
Yeah, I mean, he knows how to start. I'll give him that. He has probably been, him and McQuiggan, I mean, both of them have had a couple of starts today, and McQuiggan's had some pretty good ones, but I think Michael's probably had his being a little better. He's quick. He gets that pedal down, and it seems like no one can really catch him right away. He gets a little bit of a run, but I mean, Witt is fast here. I don't know what you know, he just ate his Wheaties this morning, but he is quick.
Wheaties? What are Wheaties?
Yeah, he had his Wheaties today.
Wheaties. As James jumps on Google to find out what Wheaties are. All right. And I'll give you the equivalent in the UK, but we are on board with Trevor Haley. He's got Coleman, who cut in front of him there. He didn't cut him off. He literally had the gap, and Coleman threaded his car through the gap and is now sat in front in that Camaro. Currently touch wood, everybody has made it through. We're now on lap 65. Next stage at lap 75, but be prepared for the rush within the next 10 laps, and I think we're going to get there. Oh, Calvin Ross. Calvin Ross. Let's have a look. Oh, high sides it.
I was gonna say I'm not sure if he's necessarily to blame on that one. He kind of looked like he was coming out and had a lot of speed, and the guy on the outside kind of bumped into the wall and lost a lot of his momentum coming out of that corner.
Okay, well, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, and we're going to have a look on the nose. Yeah, do you want to look on the nose? I think that's going to be the best angle. So here we go.
It's kind of hard to say. He definitely makes contact, but it looks like, yeah, he just got a huge run coming out of the corner, and unfortunately, the guy on the outside didn't get quite the same run, and he just couldn't react.
Calvin Ross.
He's having a day.
Yeah, he's definitely having a day. 4 out of the 6 cautions he's been involved with. So Calvin Ross there is overall somewhat having a slippy one, isn't he, really?
He is. Though I will say quite impressive that until I think now he might no longer be on the lead lap after this, after his pit stop here, depending on how much repair he has. No, he's coming out pretty quick.
Yeah.
So he might actually manage to stay on the lead lap here, which is quite impressive considering he has been involved quite a bit.
Yeah, yeah. As I say, 4 out of the 6 cautions Calvin Ross has been involved in. Good morning, Dan Peoples. Why are you awake and not in bed? My young co-commentator from the wonderful world of Holland is still awake at precisely 3 o'clock in the morning. Welcome in, Dan. Thank you so much for joining us. We are on caution number 6 here on lap 67. Unfortunately for this man, car number 20 has been involved in 4 of them. Now, we seem to be having a debate about the last one, don't we? We don't think it was necessarily his fault. Do we think? So who is on the outside? So that's car number, looks like 94. So that's Alexander Martin. Let's have a look.
It's hard to say necessarily because it looks like
so Martin hits the wall.
Clips the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he does make contact with the wall, and it kind of, as soon as you do, especially here, your speed is scrubbed very fast. You're not going to hold a lot of speed coming around that corner.
Yeah, I think we'll have to see. I don't know.
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that one, I think. He gets it's a 50-50 on that one, I think is the way we're going to go with it. It's not a full-on him on that one.
Well, we've got mixed messages in YouTube. We've got That's My Boy Calvo, and then we've got Cameron Sparkman who said Calvin Chastain. I find that quite amusing. Obviously referring to Brad Chastain there as well, who decided to ride the wall of Martinsville to qualify for the playoffs. And then Sorryman says ban Calvin. Well, we can't ban Calvin. He's just been producing a few, unfortunately, not in the right place at the right time, isn't it? Should we just put it like that for Calvin Ross, I think, this evening?
Yes, like I had said earlier, he's having a quicksand race for sure. It seems like no matter what he does, it just gets worse and worse and worse.
So you saying he's very fastly sinking down the order?
It seems to be. Somehow, again, I don't know how he's managed to pull this off, but he is still on the lead lap with everyone. Hasn't lost a lap at all, even though he has been involved or, caused 4 of the 6. He's been involved in. He did cause one. He did cause one. Yeah. We can give him that one. He did cause that one, but he did involve. He's been involved in 4 of the 6 caution flags, and still is on the lead lap. There's guys who weren't even involved in anything that at all that were like their fault, and they're down 4 laps. So, like, it's quite impressive, to be entirely honest with you, at how he's managed to pull that off. It's kind of like how Hannah ended up in the first race at Daytona not having any issues, and he unfortunately did right at the very end, but beforehand, somehow he stayed clean, even though he was the most aggressive. It's kind of in that situation. It's like, well, I don't know how it's working. Whoa, what just happened there?
That's Michael McElroy, I believe.
All right, well, that one's not on Calvin.
We didn't go
I don't
anywhere.
think Calvin gets that one.
No, I got a funny feeling it's going to start off here with Trevor Haley.
It looks like McQuiggan just got loose, or it's either he got loose or he got hooked by the 83 there.
Well, we're under a slow.
Yeah, it looks like McQuiggan just got loose and slammed right into
and then Haley
Alex Witt, and that just kind of caused everyone behind to check up. McElroy checked up like crazy. Calvin Ross, not my fault. Exactly. See, Calvin, it wasn't his fault, that one.
Well done.
That one he had nothing to do with. Finally, exactly. But it looks like McQuiggan just gets loose and shot straight up. I don't know if he tried to accelerate to match Michael Daniel.
Physically stopped.
Or Daniel Michael.
What was going on there?
Not sure what happened there.
So no Hannah.
I don't know. Yeah, that was weird. Everyone kind of just came to a dead stop.
Yeah, I wonder if they were waiting for pit lane. And it wasn't open. Because this is full speed, guys. This isn't me slowing this down. Josh McQuiggan.
We did make it to level 70, though. So.
Level 70? What, are we playing a computer game?
Or lap 70, man, apparently.
I was going to say, clearly we've changed over, but I'm wondering, Oh, are they picking
Oh,
up
I
the
think the pace car. Yeah. Okay, that's what happened. The pace car got kind of
okay.
lost there, and they all kind of fell behind it, and everyone sort of ended up out of lane and things, and people were just trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, right.
But yes, Calvin, that one I don't think was on you there.
No, we'll give you that, Calvin. Unfortunately, 4 of the other 7 have been down to you. So we're on 7th caution now, and we're on lap 71. We've got a 4-lap sprint if we're going to make it, of course. But we may end up causing the stage as it is, I believe. 5 laps within the stage ending. So I'm going to presume, I'm going to write down now, stage 2 winner is going to be Daniel Michael, because I've got a funny feeling we are not going to throw another stage, another yellow flag at lap 75. I believe it was 5 laps within the stage, wasn't it? And then we are going to be looking at your winner. So I don't think we're going to throw another stage at stage 75. I believe that will be it. Bit of a pacing issue. We're good now. Yeah, I figured that was what the case, wasn't it, Kenton? We did say they could pick up the pace car.
Yeah, it looked like the pace car kind of came out really awkwardly and sort of in the middle, and it threw a lot of people off as they were trying to either catch it or get behind it, and they didn't. No one really knew what was happening for a minute there, so.
Okay. 72 at 125. 7th caution of the evening. I think Daniel Michael is going to be the stage 2 winner. We are not going now. I'm going to put this out there. We will not be running another stage caution at lap 75. It's normally 5 laps within it, and this will be the end of stage 2, if I'm not mistaken. Bit of a Calvin issue. no.
Poor Calvin.
Poor Calvin. He's not doing well, is he? It wasn't Calvin's fault this time, sorry, man. I've got to be honest. It started off with Haley and McElroy and McGuigan at the front of the field, kicked off this 7th caution. So not Calvin Ross this time. So well done, Calvin Ross. He did put in chat as well that it was not my fault. So
yeah, finally too. I like the addition of the finally not my fault on that one.
Yeah. Well, here we go, guys. Again, hopefully we will stay green for a little while this time around before we have any trouble. We should be good, I think. Lights are out. Let's see where they are. They're coming round turn 2 onto the backstretch we go. There's that 9-degree banking we're talking about, and there is that nasty bump coming off these corners. And it doesn't seem to be boding well for these drivers. Some of them seem to be not coping too well with that bump that is kicking off. We'll see if we're going to have a look on the nose with one of the guys here coming round. We are going to be under starter's order, so I don't think we're going to be able to see it this time. I think we're still going to be under a yellow, mind you. Oh no, we're going green. Barney's changed flags, all within one hand. Never even bent over to pick it up either. I wonder where Barney stores his flags, but wherever he stores them, he's going to be waving it very soon as Daniel Michael goes into the guy called Resale Stone. And he has a green, and another flag. Broke away again and opened up. It's literally 3-4 attempts already. Back to Alex Witt. He's nailed it again, hasn't he? Every single time. He just seems to be nailing his starts every single restart.
Yeah, he seems to have the restart dialed in pretty solidly here. But back to what you're saying about that bump coming out of turn 2 there.
Yeah, 2 or 3.
Yeah, coming out of turn 2, and then coming out of turn 4, there's another one. But the other thing you'll notice, and it's harder to see it when they're moving quickly, but especially during a caution lap, you watch the cars, they're hopping around. It looks kind of, ooh, that almost got a little spicy there.
Yeah.
But you'll notice it kind of looks like the F1 cars did early on in the 2022 season. There's a lot of bouncing going on. This track is not very friendly for smooth rides out of here. It is very bumpy, which does lead also to, again, why it's so hard to catch your car if you lose it. So if you get a little loose, like it's tough to recover strictly because of how bumpy this track actually is. It's not the newest. It's definitely well loved, and you'll definitely see it. It is not smooth.
No, it doesn't look too smooth either, so I can imagine their force feedback is doing absolute mental bits at the moment over that bumps, because I know, you know, just in the TCR the other day, it was going absolutely crazy. So I'm expecting theirs is probably going just as well.
Oh,
on
eighth caution there.
Oh, no, no, no. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Is it Calvin Ross? That dude is having a tough day. At this point, I just kind of feel bad for him. He's having a rough one. He's having.
Yep.
I can't. Is it? He just got a little coming out of turn. Looks like turn 4 there.
Oh yeah.
And oh, he gets clipped again. I don't know who clipped him at the end there. It looked like the 20.
Let's see if we can have
24.
Yeah, let's see if we can have another look. As soon as I looked down and saw that poor gentleman's name, I tell you what, Calvin, I do feel for you. I don't know what's going on, but whatever's going on is not good. So he gets loose out. I think that's McElroy next to him. McGuigan avoids him. And then there, is that 24?
Yeah, it looks Gregory like the 24.
Yeah, Gregory Sherman.
Yeah, and that, again, that's a hard one to necessarily be like, oh, that's 100% on Calvin, because he did come out of the corner, and he got a little loose. He just had nowhere to go. And that speaks to, again, this track here, it's narrow, and then as you can see, he starts sliding down that track just because that 8-degree banking is rough.
Ooh.
So if you start to hold your brakes, you're trying everything you can to not move. You're still going to keep just going and going and going.
Ryan Skywalker, good stream, James. Thank you very much for that as well. Honestly, this is so sad to see. I know, 8th caution, and Calvin Ross has been involved in 5 of them.
I think he's finally down a couple laps now. So it did take 5 cautions for him to get down laps here. Yeah,
definitely did. But yeah, Calvin, with 45 laps remaining, has not done well. The thing is, it's not that he's not done well, is it? It's just, I suppose some of it was wrong place, wrong time. And then some of it like that was purely self-driven, right? You know, one of the things I want to talk about as well is the fact that we were talking about the age of this circuit. Now, while we were under caution flag, this circuit actually opened in 1969. So it went from 1969 to 1994 on asphalt, and then in 1995 it changed over to concrete. So the makeup of the surface with these cars whizzing around at some crazy speeds that we don't even want to imagine is probably not going to be doing the concrete itself. Is it any good? Is it? Because concrete's concrete at the end of the day.
Well, I do know I believe most tracks have really, at least oval-wise, have started moved over to concrete, just because you get less damage to it super quickly, so they can last a little longer. You don't have to repave as often, I would assume. But Daytona is asphalt. The Monster Mile, it's concrete everywhere. Everything about this track is concrete. Even the Miles the Monster, their mascot, I'm pretty sure he's made out of a good chunk of concrete too. So it's
Calvin Ross has left.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, he's done. He's binned it for tonight. Take it as a drop week, or do something with it, but just scrub this one off. Get practicing for Kota, and hopefully we won't see this again, Mr. Ross. I've got to be honest. It's been somewhat of a. It's been a rough day.
Yeah, I think that we can chalk this one down to, I don't know, bad day at the inn, I guess.
For sure.
So there we go. But Jordan Malcolm will be leading us away with the pace, with the lights are off. Here we go. Finally, the flag bearer is waving, ready to go with his green flag, and it's going to be Jordan Michael this time into the Geico restart. So we go, and away we go. And Michael has now got the jump on him as well. He's another one that seemed to have nailed that start and opened up 6/10, near enough already here at the beginning of this restart. 82 now, we're on lap 82, 125. And again, Jordan Malcolm nailed that one. And now he's being pulled back in by the pack. But he absolutely got a barnstorming flyer here this evening at Dover, Kenton.
Yeah, it looked like it almost looked like the other cars didn't react as quickly. They just didn't realize he was going. He just immediately went. So I think it caught a couple of people out. I will say though, our number 6 car in row is all the way up to 9th. He was, I want to say, 2 laps down.
Yeah, at least
not long ago. Like, he's managed to battle his way back up, and he's in the top 10 again. So, like we had talked about, anything happens. So, you know, one crash can change how the entire outlook of this race. Like even McQuiggan, he had his crash earlier. He's back up into P2.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be exciting. I'm just going to reach out to see if I can get Calvin in for a quick chat to talk about his evening. Let's see what response I get. You know, if you don't ask, you don't get, as my mum always says. But at the end of the day, he's had a bit of a bad one, so we may not want to get him in, but we may want to see as well. As you see, McElroy and Michael. Noel Hanna is up into 6th, so let's see how he gets on here currently as well. Alex Witt is a little bit further down than I thought he was going to be, sitting in 7th at the moment. Now normally he's been front running with McGuigan, Haley and Michael. Yeah,
but he did take the brunt of that kind of McQuiggan issue earlier on that one caution was, I think, 7. McQuiggan, when he got tight there and just drove right into the side of him, and you can see there's a little bit of damage on the door on that left side there. So I'm not sure what happened in the pit, went slow or whatever it was, but yeah, someone got a little loose behind, or a little tight behind them as well. It looked like it was Rattle, yeah, as he starts to drop down a little bit there, but it could be as simple as, yeah, he took that ding to the door and just unfortunately kind of put him out in a weird spot when he came back out and wasn't able to get back up with them.
Yeah, we're looking at bringing in Calvin Ross into the booth as well, so we will have Kenton on standby with the beep button here as this evening as well. I figure we're going to have a little bit of a chat with him as we go round into the last 30 or so laps. So let's see if we can get Calvin in here ready to go. Find out just how rough his evening has been. You know, not the most easiest thing to swallow, is it, when you have a bad night at the races? I didn't take it too well when I had a really terrible night in my TCR. So, but then again, I wasn't involved in 5 cautions. But it's got to be feeling it a little bit, isn't it?
Oh yeah, no, I mean it's. I was racing the other day in the 87s around Talladega, and I didn't even get into any crashes, and I was still annoyed with the 8X that I ended up getting. So having 5 cautions, unfortunately.
Ooh, Trevor Haley.
Managed to hold on to it, though.
He did definitely hold on to it, but boy, oh boy, that could have been a moment for Trevor Haley. We've got Daniel Michael and Josh McGuigan. We go into the last 34. Into the last 34 here at Dover. Well, do we expect we're going to get to the last 34 now? Do you reckon we'll get to the end?
Without a caution?
Yeah.
I'm going to say probably not. I would love to, but this is usually when cars start pushing a little more, right? It's that, yes, end of stage 1, you're going to get it. End of stage 2, you'll get it a little bit. This is for the race win. Guys are going to push a little bit more, people are going to push a little bit more, trying to get to that last kind of little bit of points that they can squeeze out of the car, sort of thing. So it could get a little spicy. I mean, we're going too wide and too deep here, so almost looking like we're going to go 3 wide through that corner a little bit, which I don't suggest on Dover.
McElroy. McElroy got some movement on there. McGuigan's out a little bit further. He's offline. He's going to try and come back in. I've got a funny feeling. I've got that feeling. It's going to happen. If it's going to happen, it looks like possibly B up here. Hannah, McElroy, Haley. Whoa!
Ooh, just slips in there. Manages to get through and not make contact, thankfully.
Hannah there performing a nose job faster than a plastic surgeon on Kim Kardashian, I'll tell you that much. Literally took the nose off Michael McElroy and said, thank you very much. You're still not having that position, but boy, oh boy, that could have been a loss there for McElroy, and it could have been complete and utter disaster up front for Noel Hannah.
Yeah, that wouldn't have ended well.
Yeah, no, it definitely wouldn't have there as well. Oh, Calvin's, it's just got somebody turned up at his house. He said he might pop in a bit. I was hoping to have a good old chinwag with him here as well. Noel Hannah's off with the aggressive run that we've so it's almost accustomed to of Noel Hannah now, isn't it? You know, after the first one, I think we were like, I suppose, thinking it was that first race nerves, didn't we? We put it down to like, it was just, maybe it was the first race, he was just being aggressive, but doesn't seem the case for Noel Hannah. It just seems he naturally drives that way. And mind you, he managed to stay clean, didn't he, in Michigan?
In Michigan, yeah. I mean, and that's kind of the thing. The biggest thing I've noticed with Noel is he pushes. He definitely pushes, and he's a little more aggressive. If he sees an opportunity, he's not going to hesitate. He's going to go for it. But outside of that one incident in Daytona, he's had no problems. He's caused only, just the one caution. He was involved in a caution early today, but it had nothing to do with him. He just happened to be, unfortunately, the one there.
Yeah, that was
so. I mean,
his fault, was it, that one?
No, like, and if he's able to make it work, and then he's staying clean, be aggressive, get that, squeeze out what you can, and it's got him all the way back up into third place. So it's if you know your car, if you know how to drive your car, and you know how to keep it within the limit without using it, why not? Why not get a little more aggressive and try and get that extra place?
Daniel Michael up front and Alex Witt, they've opened up a little bit of a gap. Sawyer Gara and Christian Straggler have been swapping backwards and forwards here currently at the moment as well, so we're going to keep an eye on them too. Sawyer Gara in the number 7 car, of course, flying along quite nicely at this moment in time. No, in the 54 car, not in the 7 car, excuse me.
7th place, 54 car,
yeah, that's the one. I knew I meant it like that. Thanks, mate.
Yeah.
But
that beautiful pink. Love the Pepto-Bismol car. That nice pink color.
Well,
he's very proud of it.
I would be as well.
Alex Witt looking to do a little bump drafting and almost sent Michael into the wall.
Not ideal.
That could have gotten spicy. No, not what you want, but they are trying to pull away a little bit. It looks like Witt got a little connected to the wall, and it's kind of like a suck effect. Once you connect to the wall, it's not easy to get off of it. You're kind of just stuck to it. Doesn't let you go.
Well,
takes a little more effort and gets a little dicier.
What I am surprised about is this man. I thought he would have been up there with Witt and Michael, Josh McGuigan. He seemed so strong in the early game. And he's not there.
I wonder if he got damage on that last on his incident there. If he took a little bit of damage, and it's mainly because I think it was to the front part of his car. I think it might have caused a little bit of an issue with the aerodynamics, and he's just not able to keep the speed. I know with these cars, they are a lot more reliant on aerodynamics than previous iterations. Oh, and there's another caution. It looks like the 21st and 22nd place there.
Yeah, Alexander Martin and Armand Brousseau look like they've been involved in their own little set two. Let's have a look. So there we go. Alexander Martin. Oh, Brousseau's already gone. Oh, Martin's got nowhere to go. Nowhere to go there, was there, for Martin. He tried to go right, didn't, saw him coming back across, went the other way, and unfortunately there, it was already Armand Brousseau. See if we can pick up the beginning of this. That looked a little bit strange for my liking.
Yeah.
Didn't it?
And he made contact with the car above him too.
Oh, there we go. Look at the bump on the right front of his car as he hits that bump after the Geico restart zone. No, I'm the wrong side. I need left front. Let's go the other side. If you have a look at this bump that he hits, and he just gets out of control.
That tire
there you go.
looks
Look,
a little...
there's the bump, and then he's just kind of torpedoed off. And unfortunately for Armand Brousseau, not going well. So this is it, the last pit stop. Everybody, pretty much every man and his dog is in the pits.
Yeah, and this one, there's no question. You're pitting for this now. It's 20 laps to go. And, you know, everyone's going to have at least one set of extra tires. I would pit 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. But now the interesting thing is Alex Witt has now come out in second when he was a lot further back than he was before the yellow flag. He's now sitting... No, Alex, sorry, it was Josh McGuigan. Where are you, Josh? There you are.
Hey, he's up in fourth now.
Yeah, McGuigan, I'm hoping will stay with him because he has looked strong. You know, he hasn't he? He's been there and thereabouts. He's had a couple of amazing starts off the yellows. So I'm hoping he stays a lot stronger this time around, coming towards this last little end. I'm hoping they get to the end with 20 to go.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm really curious. I wonder if because he was in 6th and 7th, he was kind of fighting with there and came out 4th. So I'm curious if he only took 2 tires instead of all 4, just so he could have a quick pit stop and get in, get out. But in reality, it's your biggest wear is going to be on your outside tires, so your front right and rear right. So if he just took the 2, quickly get in, grab those fresh ones on that side, and if throughout the race he's realized that his left tires are okay, then it gets you definitely a lot faster of a pit stop, not having to get to the other side.
Now I'm showing the Pepto-Bismol car, but because All Odds has put the Pepto car is a little weird, no? I don't really know.
I like it.
I like it. I think it's good.
It's different.
All men admit they wear pink. All Odds. Yeah. I've got pink shirts. I like it.
I like the fact it's different. It's not exactly what you'd see on every car. I like it. It's different, like I said, and the kind of drip effect that it's got going on, like as if the Pepto is kind of slowly falling over the car. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, it's good. I like it.
I know he's proud of it. He posts about it all the time in their Discord.
Well, there you go.
He loves it.
Well, there you go. Sawyer can't be wrong. If he's posted about it, he's got to be right. So I'm sorry, but I think you're under the minority here. And because we all have deemed that we actually like the Pepto car. And look, just to give you a better view, there we go. We can see it coming towards us. I know you're probably not going to love me for this, All Odds, but look. Oh, they're lining up. Here we go.
I think I have more issue that it's a Camry.
I got a Camry.
Aye.
I haven't. My iRacing car is a Camry.
Yes.
Sorry.
I think I've got the Camaro, so.
See, but do you have a custom overlay on top of it?
I do, actually. I just made one getting ready for the Daytona 500. I'm hoping to run that, so I'm trying to custom make it for myself.
Yeah, I've got the option of running in another Discord's Daytona 500 on the 18th of February. Not entirely sure if I'm going to make it, partly because I suck. And I'm generally always busy, and that's the worst thing about it.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? But I will try if I can.
Daytona's pretty easy. We did watch it. It's your foot down and kind of go. So it's not as hard. It's not like they're running the Dover 500. That would be rough.
Yeah, but here we go, guys. We're on now. Hopefully for the final 9th caution restart. Now Daniel Michael's gone. He's gone. Again for this straight sprint, 17 to go to the line. How are we going to get on? Are we going to make it to the end of the race without another caution? Let's hope we do with these cars now for this final stretch. Kenton, what do we expect?
I think it's going to be tight to keep it clean, but these front guys seem to just kind of create their own. Ooh, going 3 wide into the corner is definitely not the best suggestion. I wouldn't suggest it too much, but if you're able to kind of just keep it pinned and keep your wits about you, you should get some pretty good spots. I sadly don't see us going green to the end, but crazier things have happened as Haley hits the wall a little bit further back there and manages to keep her going.
Yeah, we are still underway, mind you. Here they come round again, round turn 3.
Ooh, he almost collected Hannah.
Oh, he's at the top. I do love this view.
Kind of almost like helicopter blimp view. That overhead view is fantastic. It just makes it, you can see so much going on at once. You can, Rose seeing that Haley come down and got a little squirrely trying to avoid it there. Looks like Haley's got a little wobble in his car.
He's boxed in. He got Hannah
A little bit.
and got Gara, and he just can't seem to find his way through. Hannah keeps dropping off. He runs it out line to drop Gara, to block Gara, and then drops down on the inside to block Haley, and Haley just can't seem to go anywhere. And you know, at the end of the day, he's going to be sitting there. Considering where Haley was early in the early running of the race at the front, he's now got that gap off Hannah. Can he now push him off to say, "Let me in. I can do this. I'm fast." Haley now is going to make it free. There you go. He bullied Hannah off that inside line, and he's managed to take it on the early doors. Hopefully, Haley will be able to get up with Christian Strada and Daniel Michael. But he's got a tall ass, Kenton, hasn't he, Haley? At the moment, he's a good 2.5, 3 seconds back from the leaders at this moment in time.
Yeah, he definitely does. And I mean, oh, there. I was just gonna say, well, if they keep going green, this is gonna be fun. But then the 10th caution comes out and we slow right back down as it looks like.
Shh, don't say it. Can't say it. We're just gonna show it. Can't show it. Can't say it.
Oh.
Oh! There we go. Spainhauer was responsible for this one, unfortunately. All you Terry Spainhauer fans. Straight down, loses it, snaps up. Caution number 10 for Terry Spainhauer. There it is, the 86 car. Parked against the wall.
And unfortunately, it looks like he collected. I'm trying to see who that was. I think that was. I didn't see who it was.
I think. Was it Martin? Yes.
It was. He's also having a rough day. Boy, yeah, he's been involved in quite a few of these cautions too.
Hold on. You can't say, right, when we're under caution, I'm going to bring in Calvin Ross into the booth. Calvin, we're under caution. We've got 10 to go. How are you?
I'm doing good. I got released from the infield care center. I got a little bit of a headache, but it's nothing I can't survive.
Okay, would that headache have anything to do with the 5 cautions that you may have been involved with?
Hey, I'm surprised it was only 5. I had my head like 6 or 7, so I'm doing better.
Well, you got 5. I've counted 5. I've got them all written down nice and I would say nice and tidily, but they're not. You know, tough track, Dover, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely not my favorite to race at.
Where is your favorite? What are we looking forward to from Calvin Ross this season?
I don't know. I'm always happy at like a 1.5 miles, something that everybody can get around pretty easy. I'm not the best at these kind of short track scenarios, and I'm not the greatest at concrete tracks just because they're a little more slippery. And, I just absolutely ran out of talent enough times today for the rest of my season, so hopefully I'll be able to clean it up from here.
Well, I'm hoping you do as well, because chat was being a little bit cruel as well as it went on. Blaming you for every caution after the one that you were involved with. I feel chat's been a little bit offensive today, but at the end of the day, it was tough every time I looked down and saw your name involved in an incident. What did you think? Did you think, oh no, not again?
For a couple of them, it was just wrong place, wrong time. I got a little bit loose, and then there was somebody right there, or somebody else got a little bit loose, and I was just a little bit too close. And then the other times I just sucked. So it was a little bit of both. That I just need to be better, and I need to be better about where I'm putting my car on the track.
Okay, well, Calvin, thank you very much for joining us. We're about to go green once again. Enjoy the last 10 laps, and hopefully we make through it caution-free here this evening, because that would be absolutely amazing. But look, Calvin, tough luck. Better luck in Kota. I'm sure you'll go out and try and do your best there.
I will. I'm always looking forward to a race, road course race like that.
One final question. How more difficult is the road course at Kota than it is to the oval here at Dover?
I enjoy turning right a little bit more than I do going circles at Dover, so I think it'll be a good race. Hopefully it's a clean one, but we always usually put on a good show at these road courses like this.
Awesome stuff, Calvin. Well, thank you very much for joining me. Much love, and I look forward to having a chat with you maybe next week at Kota.
Have a good one.
Take care. Okay, so, you know, he still seemed in good spirits, to be fair to Kenton, didn't he? Really? He didn't seem too down about what happened. He just, you know, wrong place, wrong time sometimes.
Yeah, and I mean, it definitely happens. One slight, I guess, acceleration a little too early, and yeah, you can get a little loose and a car right on your inside, and you make contact, and that sends everybody out. Or you know, you think you got the chance to pass, so you step out and get by a guy and get beside him, and all of a sudden you're, you know, suddenly in a wall. So it's
Sorry to cut you off there, Kenton, but we were underway, and I wanted to see how Michael got away, and he got an absolute flyer from Witt. With Jordan Malcolm behind. Josh McGuigan is the one I wanted to see how he got on. He's up into fourth currently at the moment. He's had a good night so far, as Josh McGuigan. He, you know, he dropped down the order a little bit, but he just can't seem to stay with Witt and Michael up front as we go 7 to go.
No, and I mean, it's a tough track to follow, guys, and to pass. It's you need to for sure commit. And it looks like a caution happened out back.
Anthony Radel.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like the 19th place. Yeah, Anthony Radel there. Rather unfortunate. Does he just get loose coming out of the corner? Yeah, he just gets loose coming out. He gets a nice little bump.
Hicks.
Hicks just see, sometimes the massively aggressive banking of the straight helps you out when that car just slides just out of your way.
Yeah, it definitely just about gave him a car width room there. Let's see if we can have a look. Where are you, Mr. Hicks?
Well, it looks like actually Hicks got involved behind them too. Yeah, it looks like Hicks unfortunately took some contact on from the inside. I couldn't see which car.
No, it wasn't Haley, but it's a silver. I'm trying to find who that was. It
wasn't
Chi. Was it Chi?
Oh, was it Chi?
Let's have another look at it again. Yes.
That's unfortunate. Yep.
Chi and Hicks there. That was Netcode that joined them up. They both managed to get past Martin, but it was definitely Netcode that started that off. So, unfortunately, then we're under caution number 11 here on lap 20 with 4 to go. We are going to be going green, white checker if we can. Go, Martin, you got this. Deep breaths. So, referring there as well to Alexander Martin. It's a long way back, mind you. Car number 94. Is that who is you are referring to? But I think, to be honest with you, Kenton, I think we're looking at a straight sprint probably between Witt and McGuigan. They've looked fast all day. Not McGuigan, Michael, sorry. And they look fast all day, haven't they? They've just been cut above the rest.
They have been. It seems like they've really found a rhythm on this track, and they really know where they're going. And I think, it's going to be a straight sprint. I think it's going to really come down to who gets the better jump at the line here. They are going to be side by side coming through for the last lap, maybe 2.
Yeah.
So it's gonna. I think whoever gets the better jump might have the better start. But who knows? I mean, one of them could clip a wall, and suddenly anyone else could fly by. So it's going to be interesting. This track is definitely one that has no end of excitement.
Nicely put. Nicely put. While we are under caution, guys, let's give you a reminder of what we've got coming up for you here on the JPB YouTube channel. Tomorrow night, we've got the Simability SK Series at Concord Speedway. That's kicking off at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And then at 8:45, we've got the LSRL F1 Round 3 from Spa. 8:45 Eastern. There, so get yourselves down, up and ready for this one because we've got two great races. I do like watching the SK series before I do the broadcast with the F1 for the LSRL. It's definitely, I don't know, the SK modifiers just seem to kind of, they get me kind of excited a little bit, but that's going to be with Robert Sluter in the booth, and you got myself and Dean Biggles doing the F1 tomorrow night, so that should be an interesting one. And then we've got even more as the week's gone on. But the videos are up and ready and prepped, ready to go. So have a look. Pick what you want. Hit the remind button. Don't forget where you are. Give the video a big old thumbs up. Turn on the subscribers. Give the button a subscribe. No, hold on. Give the channel a subscribe and turn on the bells for notifications. I will get it right, I promise you. But we are going to be underway very, very shortly. The pace car lights are off. It's going to be in. We are going to be on a GWC green-white checker here this evening. Before we go again, right, Kenton, on the spot, who's going to win? And you can only pick
I gotta
one.
say, I think Witt's got this, but I think the big question is actually going to be more who finishes second. I think McQuiggan could pull one out here. It all kind of is going to depend on how good of a draft he's able to pull off of Alex Witt here. Obviously, Witt having the inside lane and being the leader, he's going to be who the restart is based on. So it could get a little interesting. Could get very colorful very quickly.
Right, we're going to find out. Obviously, I'm going to go for Daniel Michael because I think he's been quick all night. I would pick McGuigan, but I think he's just too far back. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. Witt has been jumping on the starts, though, mind you. That if McGuigan can follow him, there's no reason he can't. And he did!
That was McGuigan got it beautifully. He was able to react perfectly.
Oh, we're on the caution already.
And oh no.
Slow up, boys. Slow up.
That actually might hurt. That actually might hurt McQuiggan more so than anything.
Have we noticed it? Because yellow flag, boys. Yellow flag. Oh, they have now.
I think they just realized. Yeah, they're all checking up real hard right now.
And I think Andrew Almquist could have been the responsible one for that one. Let's have a look now. Oh, Pepto car.
Pepto, and then he caused a lot of issues back there.
Wow.
I know the big one is usually saved for a Daytona, but that might have been a pretty big one.
Yeah, I think so too. And it all started with Gara getting out of shape here as well. If we have a look, he just kind of spin up. Oh, I need to go back just a little bit more. There you go. He goes, ducks, comes down, and poor old Almquist was just.
He had nowhere to go, and unfortunately, neither did
Look how much
anybody else
he's not even
behind.
got control of his car, has he? Poor Almquist is just going round here, and unfortunately for him, on lap 125, it's not looking good. We're going to go again, hopefully. Oh, we are going to finish as we are, so it is going to be Alex Witt taking the victory. Josh McGuigan. I can't believe they finished on the course. I thought we might have had another go at a green-white checker. So, but it is Witt. And then McGuigan. Well, that wasn't quite how we wanted to end the race, was it really? And then Daniel Michael.
No, yeah, we could have. I mean, a green-white would have been for at least a lap. But, I mean, great race by Witt. He had a fantastic day. And a nice little. He almost got a donut in there.
There he goes. There he goes.
There we go.
Alex Witt. Super job.
Yeah, no, he had a fantastic race.
Yeah.
Had that one incident that kind of sent him a little further back, but he was able to hold on and kind of make it work and get himself back up to the front. So
Yeah, right. Now here are the results of round 3 at Dover Motor Speedway. Alex Witt is in first. Josh McGuigan was second. Daniel Michael third. Michael McElroy fourth. Jordan Malcolm fifth. Trevor Haley sixth. Christian Strada seventh. Craig Rowe eighth. Kevin Coleman ninth. Noel Hanna 10th. Sean Britt 11th. Sawyer Gara 12th. Rod Sizemore 13th. Ryan McLennan 14th. Brendan McLaughlin 15th. G. Cooper 16th. Anthony Radel 17th. Andrew Almquist is down in 18th place. Beyond that, we've got Alexander Martin down in 19th, Armand Brusso 20, Cody Kern 21st, Terry Spainhour down in 22nd, Dustin Hicks 23rd, Zachary Lewis 24th, Greg Sherman 25th, Calvin Ross, obviously, poor Calvin, just seems to be everywhere in the yellow, unfortunately for him, and Zach Scar down in 27th place. Right, let's see who we can have a chat with as well. I want to start off having a chat before we go anywhere else with this man, Josh McGuigan. Good evening, Josh. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
You sure?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good. Awesome stuff. Okay. Unlucky today. That's all I'm going to say. Unlucky.
Man, it was a long race. We tried our best for sure. Yeah, I don't know really what to say.
Well, we were 12 cautions deep by the end, and unfortunately we finished under a yellow, which was a bit of a shame. I really did think if you got the jump off that last restart with Alex Witt there, you were definitely in with a possibility of taking the victory. But look, one of the things you've got to look out for when we do a circuit like Dover is the fact that you survived, and that was partly important with a lot of cautions happening in the first stage.
Yeah, it was definitely hard to survive. There were a lot of cautions. My goal was just to stay up front. I knew it was going to be a wreck fest tonight with how tight Dover is, and especially with how the setup drove. It was really loose coming off of turn 4. Controlling it there. Early in the race, it also really sucked. We couldn't really get a hang of it. We led for the first 20 laps. The grip got into the track, and then it got really loose, so we couldn't really do anything after that. Had to adapt to a whole new type of racetrack as soon as the rubber got built up in there, and yeah, it was a struggle.
Okay, coming off Dover, we're going to COTA. Different race circuit altogether. How are you for road circuits?
I think I'll be all right. I don't think I'll have my usual speed. Like, usually I'm a third to first place car, but at COTA, I think I'll be, I don't know, top 6, top 5, somewhere in there. It's going to be a good gauge to see how everybody is at the road courses. This is going to be my first road course race here in the BSC, so it's going to be exciting for sure.
Awesome stuff. Well, Josh, thank you so much for joining us. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before you leave the booth this evening?
Yep, my sponsors, LAT Racing, my team, which is going to be Crew Racing, Michael McElroy, Sean Britt, and Zach Scare. They all do great jobs, great things in practice and everything, and that's pretty much it. Oh, also, you guys for broadcasting. Appreciate that a lot, and the admins in the league.
Awesome stuff. Well, Josh, thank you very much for joining us, buddy. Take care, and we look forward to seeing you in COTA.
See ya.
Well, Josh seemed fairly positive and happy there, Kenton. I think that he really, wasn't overly unhappy about the fact that he finished second. But I think what we'll do is we'll have a chat with the 3 guys up the front first, and then me and you will discuss how they are. But let's have a chat now with Dan Michael. Dan, good evening. How are you?
I'm good.
You good? Finished third? Happy?
Yeah, a little disappointed because I butchered it on the right before the last or second to last caution, but it is what it is.
Do you think you could have done more?
Absolutely. I hit the wall coming off of 4 and it let Alex by, and then he had control of the restarts, and I just couldn't compete.
How important were restarts here at Dover? Because we saw him, and they, you nailed some, McGuigan nailed some, Alex nailed some as well. How important are they to get off that line first and open out that little bit of a gap to give yourself breathing room?
It was very important. I felt like the restarts here were just absolutely necessary to have. And if you were the leader, you could get a good 5/10 gap if the second place car wasn't paying attention.
All right, we've come off Dover. We've decided now to go to a road course in Kota. How are you there, Dan? Have you done any practice at Kota?
It's been a while. Last time I ran Kota, I believe it was 6 months ago. I need to brush up myself, my road course driving skills, and hopefully I'll be able to win that one. I know Alex is going to be tough to beat at a road course, and it's going to be fun, that's for sure.
It definitely is going to be fun. But thank you so much, Dan, for joining us. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go out of the booth this evening?
Just everyone who showed up for the race, and all the people watching, you guys, and just you guys in general. There's everyone that showed up, everyone that's here. We appreciate you all, and it's fun to race for everyone, and to show how much fun and such good racing that we can have, when it's not under caution, of course.
Yeah, of course. That finishing under caution does, maybe it's one of the things we can look at, to do at least a couple of attempts at GWC. But look, overall, third place. People didn't even finish. You did an absolute stellar job, Dan. So I look forward to having a chat with you in Kota.
Yes, sir.
Take care, buddy.
You too.
Right, and let's bring in your victor this evening, Mr. Alex Witt. I'm sure he didn't want to finish under a caution, but we'll probably take the victory anyway. Alex, good evening, sir. How are you?
Doing good.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah, I'd love to have finished that under green for sure, especially because I was saving tires a little bit there still at the end, so it was definitely a nail-biter coming down to that many cautions.
What do you think? Cautions was expected here at Dover. Me and Kenton spoke to it before we even went live, and we were saying cautions was going to be a big thing. Just spoke to Dan. Dan said basically the restarts were pivotal, that if you could get control of it. Now, he made a mistake, and you took that position away from him and was able to control the restarts. How important was it for you to have that kind of power of the restart in your hands at the time that you needed it?
I mean, it's huge because, you can get pretty much a perfect start and you're usually not even going to be able to go into turn one side by side. So I definitely wanted to control the race and hadn't for the whole race, and it is super valuable. So I'm really lucky that it came that way in the end.
Well, it definitely did, and unfortunately, as you say, we finished under caution, which wasn't ideal for the amount of racing that we had. It was good. Yeah, we had 12 cautions spread across 125 laps, but overall, it was Dover. That was expected. Alex, I want to ask you a question, if I may. What is your aspirations for this season? Where do we see Alex Witt come the end of the season?
I'd hope to be towards the top. I just want to be there at the end every race. So driving smart, driving clean, trying to avoid any wrecks, and getting the pit strategy better for sure. Well,
you've definitely been nailing it this season there as well. 2 victories out of 3 so far for you. So, Alex, well done. Absolutely stellar job. We look forward to seeing what you can do in Kota next week. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before you leave the booth this evening?
Yeah, shout out to the Breakfast Club. Thanks for watching.
Awesome stuff. Well, Alex, thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you in Kota.
Thank you.
Okay. Mixed responses, really, wasn't it, Ken? Not everybody was happy finishing under a yellow. Most of them wanted to try and go for the green, but it is what it is. They're going to take it either way, aren't they? Alex is going to take that victory and put it in his pocket and think, well, did I get away with it? Maybe. McGuigan's there saying, yeah. Michael's there saying, I hit the wall and let him through and I needed to control the restarts. It's a tough one when everything's going through your head, but let's not forget they did finish first, second and third. So something to smile about, I suppose. Yeah,
at this point, it's take the win and run. Don't look back on it and just take it. And you never know. You could have a string of 4 or 5 races where it doesn't go your way. So getting the wins in now, you might as well take it. So would have been more exciting to go under a green and white checker, probably. But at the same time, we had so many cautions going on. There's no guarantee we would have even made it with green and white caution anyways. So hard to say for sure, but I mean, it was a fun race. Like you said, a lot of cautions, so there was always something going on. It seemed like, but some unlucky drivers for sure. But great race by Alex, Josh, and Daniel.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out while I'm here as well. One of the things that we didn't pick up on is basically who we would sit back and nominate for driver of the day. Now, normally we would go for 1, 2, or 3, right? Because obviously they're at the top. But I want to shout out to our current man that sat down in 8th place. Now, Chris Rowe. Chris was involved in incidents earlier on, but he's battled back. And at one point, we think, wasn't he 2 or 3 laps down? Kenton?
I think he was at 1.2 laps, but I'm pretty sure in the first 10, I want to say he was actually even 4 laps down at one point.
I'm sure.
And he fought back and he finished. Yeah, he finished in the top 10 if I remember correctly. Like
he finished in 8th.
Fantastic. He finished 8th. Yeah, so he went from 4 laps down to top 10 finish. Like that's not easy to do. And I mean, yes, it was definitely aided with all the cautions and everything, but he still had to take advantage of opportunities he was given, and he did.
Absolutely. So I'm going to give my driver of the day to Chris Rowe, partly because he did a stellar job, battled back, and I think it was absolutely amazing. So fair play to Craig there as well. He did an absolute stellar job. But I think, guys, overall, I think we can take a lot out of this and say that Alex Witt is 2 out of 3. He's looking incredibly strong for the championship already. Him and Daniel Michael, Josh McGuigan, Michael McElroy as well are going to have somewhat of an absolute epic scrap. But I think overall it's been an interesting night here in Dover. I am looking forward to seeing how these cars cope on COTA. I've got to be honest, I don't generally associate the big, powerful machines that we have here in this league as road courses. I envision Bambi on ice here, and I probably shouldn't, but it's a tough one to see how these cars can go around well, fast, basically. But, you know, it's going to be an interesting one as well. So join us next week for this one. So I think that's going to wrap up this evening. Thank you so much for everybody that's joined us in the booth. For Craig R as well, 4 laps down, 10 laps in, and I got a top 10. You definitely did. You've got my driver of the day, so well done for you. Joel Swami, great broadcast host. Thank you very much. All odds, thanks for the great work, gents. No problem at all. It's been an absolute pleasure. But to everybody who has joined us this evening, Lydia, Rory, Sorryman as well, Michael, Calvin, obviously jumping in, Cameron, thank you so much. Housed Horse as well, Drop Shot Prodigy, and Lydia as well. It's been a pleasure as always, and Nick as well. I will give you a shout. It's been a pleasure as always, but I think it's time, guys, we ended tonight's broadcast. I'm off to bed. From myself and Kenton Sportak, take care. Have a great week, and you never know, we might see you on a track sometime. Good night.